Today is the anniversary of the Charlie Hebdo shootings, and now I was debating on whether or not to make a video about this, but I have decided to go ahead and do it. Essentially, the French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo insulted the Prophet Muhammad with a caricature of him with a bomb, etc. As a result, ISIS fighters stormed the building and killed several people, and they have just gone on trial several days ago, even though the event took place several years ago. Now, there are three main points that I want to make regarding this. Here's point number one. Aren't you the guy who makes fun of X thing that happened? Aren't you being hypocritical? Well, let me tell you the difference. One, I made jokes. There's a difference between a joke and someone who's making a legitimate attack. Charlie Hebdo was attacking Islam. Now, keep in mind, the proof of that is in one of the other points, so that's coming up. They were legitimately criticizing all of Islam, not making a joke. So that's a whole separate thing altogether. I made a joke. Not a real actual stance. And there is a difference between the two. If you can't understand that context, then, well, frankly, you're a postmodernist and your opinion doesn't matter anyway because you're not very intelligent. You can be offended by the joke. You cannot like the joke. By all means, you can be angry at me for making the joke. Go ahead. But it is a joke. You cannot claim that it was not a joke. There is a big difference. Number two. Charlie Hebdo was attacking a marginalized group of people. They were insulting all of Islam in general. They were not criticizing the extremists. Now, had they drawn ISIS fighters that were engaged in sexual activity with a certain quadruped, then you could claim that while in a way it's still being partially racist, it would actually be a criticism, or not even a criticism, an attack on ISIS, who very well deserve it. But that's not what Charlie Hebdo did. They attacked all Muslims in general. That's the difference here. I'm not saying people deserve to die for making a comic. I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that what they did was in fact pretty prejudiced, and it was an attack on all Muslims, not an attack on terrorists. Now, here's my third point. They are monstrously hypocritical. Okay, let me put it to you this way. They did a comment. Now, everybody remembers that image of the Syrian boy who had drowned and washed up on the shore. They did a comic calling him a future rapist, implying that it's good that he's dead. Really? Like attacking a dead child, a refugee, a very marginalized person? You know, literally a child. You couldn't get any more defenseless than a child. And you can claim that it's a joke. But the thing is, they have this problem with attacking Muslims disproportionately more than any other group. And specifically, either Islamic people as a whole or refugees. One is a marginalized group, and the other is a victim of imperialism, which you could also claim is a marginalized group. They're not the ones who are, the problem. They're punching down, not punching up. The jokes that I've made are either just jokes, literally just jokes, or have been punching up. That's the difference. Now, let me put it to you this way. Morrison is the man who used to run the newspaper, or the satirical publication. Now, he insulted Nicolas Sarkozy's son with anti-Semitic imagery. Well, they declared that to be off limits and fired him for it. So, not the government, not any kind of regulatory body. The paper fired their own editor because they had insulted the son of Nicolas Sarkozy using anti-Semitic imagery. So wait a minute, let me get this straight. You can't use anti-Semitic imagery, but you can insult all of Islam in general. I mean, there very clearly is a double standard here. You cannot claim that this is just a thing that we do to attack all people. You are specifically attacking a marginalized group, because here's another group, and, well, you're not allowed to attack them, you'll fire them. And that's completely different from criticizing Israel's policies, which the rest of the world should actually be doing right now. So I'm going to say that's the difference there. There is no screaming at me that I'm a hypocrite. I have very clearly delineated the difference between myself and what Charlie Hebdo is doing. Charlie Hebdo is not making a joke. They're doing satire to criticize society. That's literally what they say. And then you turn around and insult a drowned child. If they were just making a joke, I would say that joke is in very bad taste. But there's a difference between making a joke about something like that, which is horrendous, and using that as a platform to call refugees rapists and to demonize refugees, the people coming from the countries that you're bombing and your imperialism is destroying. So you could see how that could be really, I was going to say hypocritical, but that's not really the definition of hypocrisy. But I think you see where I'm going with this and what I'm saying. There very clearly is two different things. That is why I don't defend Charlie Hebdo. There is legitimate press censorship all over the world. Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, the epitome of the censorship and attack on journalism. All of the people who are doing journalistic work in the protests in Kenosha and other places that are getting attacked by the police. That's repression of the media. Hell, the police are attacking mainstream media people and arresting them on camera. That's repression of the media. Now, of course, as I have already stated, because people don't listen, so I'm going to have to say it again, that attacking the Charlie Hebdo offices and shooting up a bunch of people was not right. That should not have happened. But I also don't think that Charlie Hebdo is these pure innocent angels that are just completely misunderstood and wholly just victims of censorship. They are legitimately bad people. I'm not condoning the attack, but I'm not going to attack like these are the people who are the biggest victims of censorship either, or that they're totally that they're just promoting freedom of speech. They were promoting hate speech by doing that, as is evidenced by their disproportional attacks on Muslims and their refusal to attack other groups, like, for example, firing their guy Morrisine for using anti-Semitic imagery. So it's one rule for one group and one for another. So that definitely does show a bias. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's the definition of bias. So I just wanted to make this video and clear that up. I was debating whether or not to actually make this video or to even put it out, which is why this is so many days after the actual anniversary, because I was struggling with that question, but I decided that it's too important of an issue to put up. So there's my 2 cents. There's my explanation of why Charlie Hebdo are not good people. They are a-holes, and this video will be demonetized because it's talking about something bad. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.